Hello everyone, Uncle Crocheter here. In this video, I'm going to be going over the Rules of RolloMon, which is a new game show I recently introduced. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you how to play it. All you need is a six-sided die. I don't know why I grabbed two. You just need the one. Each player takes a six-sided die, and they use that die to design a monster in various steps. Now, something that I thought of is making this kind of a versus thing, where each player has their own dice rolls, and it's basically whoever comes up with the best monster would win. But I don't really have anyone that I can play it against, so we're just going to be doing the solo for now. The first roll is for the species type. Now, if you roll a 1, it's a fish. If you roll a 2, it's a mammal. A 3, it's a reptile. Oh no, 3 is a bird. 3 is bird. 3 is bird. I skipped a line when I was reading it over in the corner. 4 is reptile. There's 5. 5 is amphibian. And 6 is insect. So you've got 6 different types of creatures you can roll. The second roll you go for is how many limbs your creature will have. Limbs being arms, legs, and wings. Now, a tail could count. There is a rule allowing a tail to count as a limb, but we'll get to that later. The third roll is how many colors it will have. Now, some of you may notice, oh, but what about the eyes? The whites and pupils and the black inside the mouth, those don't count. These are the colors that you see on the main body. So the whites of the eyes, the blacks of the pupils, the blacks inside the mouth, those don't count. The fourth roll is how many eyes your creature has. So if you roll a 6, your character has 6 eyes. Now, rolls 5 and 6 are optional, but I'm going to go over them anyway because this is supposed to be an overview of the rules. Roll number 5 is how many horns your character has. And you are not allowed to add horns unless you roll for them. So horns are optional, but they have to be rolled for. And roll number 6, the final roll, how many heads does your creature have? Yes, you can roll for multiple heads, but if you do not roll for multiple heads, then your creature can only have 1 head. Here are the rules for designing. Each RolloMon must have a torso, a head, the roll number of limbs, eye colors, and eyes. So no matter what, your creature has a torso. Even if your creature is a fucking slug, it's got a torso. And a head. It has to have at least 1 head. Horns may only be added if they are rolled for. If you didn't do roll number 5 to roll for how many horns it has, then your creature does not have horns. Tails do not count as limbs unless the creature is aquatic, meaning a fish or an amphibian. Because those use their tails to swim through the water. So unless this is a swimming creature, tail does not count as a limb. So if you roll a mammal, you could give it a tail, but you don't have to, because that tail will not count as a limb. A RolloMon may only have multiple heads if the quantity is rolled. Otherwise, it can only have 1. So, unless you did roll number 6 to decide how many heads it's got, you only get 1. And finally, wings count as limbs, but they have to come in pairs. So if you roll a 1 for how many limbs you get, you can't have wings. If you roll any other odd number, like 3 or 5, if you roll 3 or 5, like let's say you roll a 3, you can have 1 pair of wings, but you have to then add an arm or a leg, or a tail if it's aquatic. If you roll a 5, you can have 2 pairs of wings, but you would also need to have an arm, leg, or tail. And if you roll a 6, you could just say screw arms and legs and just have 3 pairs of wings, which could actually be kind of cool depending on the rest of the creature. So yeah, those are the rules for RolloMon as they are currently written. If I make any changes, then I will make a second video updating you on those changes. But for right now, those are the rules of RolloMon. So there you go. Those are the rules of this game. I figured it would be easier for me to just make this a separate video rather than explaining these rules in every episode of the show. If you catch me breaking the rules, feel free to let me know because I don't always have them pulled up on my iPad because I'm using that iPad to draw the creatures. So I can't really be flip-flopping back and forth between the creature and the rules all the time. So yeah, if you guys see me break the rules, feel free to let me know and I will redo that episode to make sure I follow them. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to follow them pretty easily. And with all that out of the way, I will see you guys next time.